There was a time when I had nothing, no certainty, no direction, only a quiet hope that refused to die. If you feel like you're starting from nothing, stay. This is for you. There is a strange beauty in starting with nothing. It doesn't feel beautiful at first. It feels heavy. It feels unfair. It feels lonely. When you have nothing, the world often treats you as if you are nothing. Your dreams sound too big. Your voice sounds too small. Your hope feels fragile, like it could shatter with one harsh word or one more closed door. But listen to me gently, deeply, honestly. Nothing is not emptiness. Nothing is space, space to grow, space to imagine, space to become. I know what it feels like to look at life and wonder how you ended up here, to watch others move forward while you feel frozen, to feel like the starting line keeps moving further away every time you try to reach it. To ask yourself quietly, late at night, if this is all life has planned for you. From nothing to something is not a journey of luck, it is a journey of belief. The American mindset is not about perfection. It is not about never failing. It is not about having everything figured out. It is about refusing to let your beginning define your ending. It is about standing up again and again, even when the ground beneath you feels unstable. Every great story begins in silence. Before the applause, there is struggle. Before the victory, there is doubt. Before the success, there is a version of you that almost gave up, but didn't. You see, something powerful happens when you have nothing to lose. Fear loses its grip. Judgment loses its power. You stop trying to impress the world and start trying to survive with dignity. And in that survival, strength is born. Strength is not loud. Strength does not announce itself. Strength whispers, try again. When your heart feels tired, you may feel invisible right now, like your effort goes unnoticed, like your pain is unacknowledged, but invisibility is not useless, it is protective. It allows you to grow roots without interruption, and roots grow best in darkness. Nothing is not the absence of value, it is the absence of distractions. When you start from nothing, you learn gratitude early. You learn humility early. You learn how to find joy in small progress, and those lessons stay with you when success arrives, keeping you grounded when others lose themselves. The American mindset is built on stories that were never easy. It is built on people who were told no, who were ignored, who were underestimated. People who carried rejection like a stone in their chest but still kept walking. It is built on resilience. Resilience does not mean you never cry. It means you cry and still move forward. It means you break and still believe healing is possible. It means you fall in love with your future even when your present feels painful. From nothing to something is not about becoming rich or famous or admired. It is about becoming whole, becoming confident in your worth, becoming brave enough to claim your space in the world, and claiming your space does not require permission. You do not need approval to dream. You do not need validation to try. You do not need applause to begin. All you need is the courage to take one small step, even when you cannot see the full path ahead. Some days that step will feel heavy. Some days it will feel pointless. Some days you will question yourself more than you question the world. That is part of the process. Growth is uncomfortable because it asks you to leave what is familiar. And familiarity, even when painful, feels safe. But safety is not the same as growth. The American mindset is not about comfort. It is about courage. Courage to believe that you can become more than your circumstances. Courage to try again after failure. Courage to hope when logic says you shouldn't. Hope is not weakness. Hope is rebellion. To hope in a difficult world is an act of bravery. To believe in yourself when evidence is missing is an act of faith. To keep going when progress is slow is an act of discipline, and discipline is how dreams survive reality. You may not have resources, you may not have connections, you may not have support, but you have something equally powerful: choice. The choice to show up, the choice to learn, the choice to grow, the choice to refuse bitterness. Bitterness steals your future. Pain should make you softer, not smaller, wiser, not colder, stronger, not cruel. From nothing to something is a journey of becoming kind to yourself. of learning to speak to yourself with compassion instead of criticism, of understanding that your worth is not measured by your speed, but by your perseverance. You are allowed to take time, you are allowed to rest, you are allowed to be a work in progress. Do not let anyone rush your healing. Do not let comparison steal your peace. Your journey is not behind. It is unfolding, and one day you will look back at this version of yourself, the tired one, the hopeful one, the uncertain one, and you will thank them. You will thank them for not quitting. You will thank them for believing when it was hardest. Because something always grows from nothing when faith is involved. There is a kind of pain that doesn't scream. It sits quietly inside you. It watches you move through life with a smile that doesn't reach your eyes. It listens while you tell everyone you're fine, and it waits patiently for the moments when you are alone. That is the pain of becoming, the pain of knowing you were meant for more, but not knowing how or when you'll reach it. This pain is not here to punish you. It is here to prepare you. From nothing to something requires patience that the world rarely celebrates. We celebrate quick wins, overnight success, instant transformation. But we forget that most real change happens slowly, invisibly, in moments no one claps for. We forget that becoming takes time. Patience is not passive, it is active trust. Trust that what you are building matters even when results are small. Trust that effort is not wasted, even when progress feels invisible. Trust that who you are becoming is more important than what you are achieving. The American mindset is deeply rooted in this quiet patience. It is the belief that if you keep showing up, if you keep learning, if you keep improving, something will shift, doors will open, paths will appear, not because the world suddenly becomes kind, but because you become ready. Readiness changes everything. Many people want success, but few are willing to become the person success requires. Becoming demands sacrifice. It asks you to sit with discomfort, to choose discipline when motivation fades, to continue even when doubt is loud, and doubt will be loud. Doubt will ask you who you think you are. It will remind you of your past. It will replay your failures. It will try to convince you that your dreams are unrealistic, that people like you don't make it, that this effort is foolish. But doubt is not truth. Doubt is fear wearing confidence. The American mindset does not deny fear. It faces it. It says, I see you, but I will not let you decide. It understands that courage is not the absence of fear. It is movement in its presence. You may not feel brave. That does not mean you are not brave. Bravery often feels like exhaustion mixed with hope. It feels like standing up one more time when your body wants to stay down. It feels like believing in yourself quietly without needing anyone else to agree. Belief does not have to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes belief is just a whisper that says, try again tomorrow. And that is enough. From nothing to something also means learning how to fail without losing yourself. Failure does not mean you are unworthy. It means you are trying, and trying is where growth lives. Every failure teaches you something about your limits, your strengths, your resilience. Failure shapes character before success ever shapes status. In this journey you will outgrow people, conversations will change, priorities will shift. This can feel painful, even lonely, but growth often requires space, space to think, space to heal, space to redefine yourself without outside noise. Loneliness does not mean you are abandoned. Sometimes it means you are being redirected, redirected toward clarity, toward purpose, toward self-respect. Self-respect is built when you keep promises to yourself. When you say you'll try and you do, when you say you'll learn and you commit, when you say you'll rest and you allow yourself to breathe without guilt. Rest is not quitting. Rest is maintenance. You are allowed to pause without giving up. You are allowed to breathe without losing momentum. The American mindset is not about burnout. It is about sustainability, about building a life you can actually live inside. From nothing to something means redefining success. Success is not just money or recognition. It is peace of mind. It is self-trust. It is waking up knowing you are aligned with your values, even if the world has not noticed yet. Recognition often comes later. First comes work, then comes growth, then comes alignment, only then comes visibility. Do not rush the order. When you rush, you skip lessons. When you skip lessons, you repeat pain. Trust the timing, even when it feels slow. You are not wasting time. You are gathering wisdom. You are building emotional strength. You are learning empathy, patience, and humility, qualities that will protect you when success arrives. Because success without grounding can destroy you. The American mindset understands that becoming something meaningful requires becoming someone stable first. Someone kind, someone disciplined, someone resilient, someone self-aware. You are becoming that person, even on days it doesn't feel like it. Especially on those days. If all you did today was not give up, that is progress. If all you did was hold on, that is strength. If all you did was believe for one more moment, that is courage. Do not underestimate small victories. Small victories build momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence builds action. Action changes lives, your life. One day you will realize that nothing was never truly nothing. It was potential waiting for permission. And the moment you believed in yourself, truly believed, you gave it permission to grow. There comes a quiet shift, almost unnoticed, when you stop asking the world who you are and start answering that question for yourself. It doesn't happen in one bold moment. It happens slowly, through reflection, through experience, through pain that teaches instead of punishes. This is the moment identity begins to form, not from labels, not from approval, but from understanding. From nothing to something is not just about building a life, it is about rebuilding yourself. You begin to realize that the version of you who survived the hardest days deserves respect, not pity, respect. That version carried you through storms you never imagined you could survive. That version kept going even when hope felt fragile. That version made mistakes, yes, but mistakes are evidence of movement, not failure. Resilience is not something you are born with. It is something life teaches you, lesson by lesson. Each setback sharpens your awareness. Each disappointment refines your expectations. Each loss deepens your compassion. And compassion changes how you see yourself. You stop being harsh. You stop speaking to yourself with cruelty. You understand that healing is not linear. Some days you will feel strong. Other days you will feel vulnerable. Both days count. Both days are part of the process. The American mindset embraces this complexity. It allows you to be human while still believing in progress. It understands that strength and softness can coexist. That vulnerability is not weakness, it is honesty. When you are honest with yourself, you stop pretending. You stop performing. You stop hiding behind what the world expects and start honoring what your heart needs. That honesty gives you clarity. Clarity about what matters, about what drains you, about what lifts you, about where your energy belongs. You begin to protect your energy with intention. You learn to say no without guilt. You learn to step away from spaces that shrink you. This is not selfishness. This is self-respect. Self-respect is the foundation of growth. With self-respect comes responsibility. Responsibility for your choices. Responsibility for your healing, responsibility for the future you are creating. You stop blaming the past, not because it didn't hurt, but because carrying blame keeps you stuck. Forgiveness becomes less about others and more about freeing yourself. You forgive not to forget, but to move forward without weight. Moving forward does not mean denying your story. It means owning it. Your story, even the painful parts, has shaped your depth. It has given you empathy. It has given you perspective. It has given you a voice that can reach others who feel unseen. From nothing to something often means realizing that your pain has purpose, not because pain is good, but because meaning can grow from it. When you transform pain into understanding, it stops controlling you. You begin to trust yourself more. Trust is built through evidence. Every time you face a hard moment and survive it, you gather proof. Proof that you can handle discomfort, proof that you can adapt, proof that you are stronger than you once believed. This trust changes how you walk through the world. You are no longer constantly afraid of breaking, because you know you can rebuild. Rebuilding becomes familiar. You stop fearing failure because failure no longer defines you. It informs you. You extract lessons instead of shame. You ask better questions. You make wiser decisions. Wisdom grows quietly. You may notice that your goals become deeper, less about impressing others, more about alignment, more about contribution, more about peace. The American mindset is not just about personal success, it is about impact. About using what you've learned to create something meaningful, not only for yourself but for others. You realize that leadership does not require perfection. It requires authenticity. It requires showing up as you are and growing openly. People don't connect with perfection. They connect with truth. Your truth, when spoken gently, has power. As you step into belief, fear doesn't disappear, but it loses authority. You stop asking fear for permission. You move anyway. You understand that confidence is not certainty. It is commitment, commitment to keep going, commitment to learn, commitment to grow even when it's uncomfortable. You are no longer defined by where you started. You are defined by how you respond now, by the choices you make today, by the boundaries you set, by the values you live. From nothing to something is an inner shift before it is an outer one. And once that shift happens, the world begins to respond differently. Not because it changed, but because you did. You speak with clarity, you move with intention, you stand with quiet strength. This is not the end of the journey. It is the middle, the place where belief becomes behavior, where hope turns into action, where identity solidifies. You are no longer waiting to become something. You already are. There comes a moment when your journey stops being only about you. Not because you no longer matter, but because you finally understand how much you do. You realize that the way you rise gives others permission to rise. The way you heal shows others that healing is possible. And the way you carry yourself through difficulty becomes a quiet lesson for those still searching for hope. Purpose reveals itself slowly. It doesn't arrive as a grand announcement. It grows from awareness. From noticing how your experiences have shaped your empathy, from recognizing how your struggles have given you language for pain that others cannot yet articulate, from understanding that what once felt like a burden has become a bridge. From nothing to something is not just about personal elevation, it is about contribution. You begin to see that your story has weight, that your survival is meaningful, that your voice matters, not because it is loud, but because it is honest. You stop minimizing what you've been through. You stop apologizing for your sensitivity. You stop hiding your scars. Scars are not signs of weakness. They are evidence of endurance. The American mindset honors this transformation. It values the courage to stand again after falling. It respects the humility of those who know struggle and still choose kindness. It believes that greatness is not measured by how high you climb, but by how many you lift along the way. You start to listen more deeply, to speak more intentionally, to act with awareness. You understand that leadership is not control, it is service, it is presence, it is consistency. People trust those who are real. You do not need to pretend to have all the answers. Your honesty is enough. Your willingness to learn is enough. Your commitment to growth is enough. As purpose becomes clearer, your priorities shift. You protect your time differently. You choose depth over noise. You value alignment over approval. You understand that energy is precious, and you stop giving it away to things that do not nourish your spirit. This is not detachment, this is discernment. You learn to sit with silence without discomfort. You learn to be alone without feeling lonely. You learn that peace is not the absence of challenges, but the presence of clarity. clarity brings confidence. Confidence rooted in self-awareness is gentle. It does not dominate. It does not demand attention. It simply exists, steady, grounded, unshakable. You move forward now with intention. Not rushing, not hesitating, just moving. You stop asking, "Am I enough?" and start asking, "How can I serve?" That shift changes everything. It removes fear from the center of your decisions and replaces it with purpose. Purpose creates resilience when things become difficult, and they will. You no longer crumble. You remember why you started. You remember the people who believed in you and the ones who didn't. You remember the version of yourself who needed hope. And you continue. Continuing becomes an act of love. Love for yourself. Love for your journey. Love for the future you are building. From nothing to something requires carrying responsibility with grace. Responsibility to stay honest. Responsibility to stay grounded. Responsibility to not let success harden you or pain define you. You choose softness without weakness, strength without ego, ambition without cruelty. You begin to understand that fulfillment comes from alignment, from living in a way that reflects your values, from making choices that honor both your dreams and your humanity. The American mindset is not about leaving others behind. It is about creating pathways. It is about turning obstacles into opportunities, not just for yourself, but for those who come after you. You are becoming someone others can look to, not because you are perfect, but because you are present. Because you are willing, because you did not let nothing turn into bitterness. You let it turn into becoming. And as you step into this phase, you feel a deep sense of responsibility. Not heavy, but meaningful. Responsibility to keep growing, responsibility to stay kind, responsibility to remember where you started. Remembering keeps you humble, humility keeps you open, openness keeps you learning, learning keeps you alive. You are no longer chasing something to prove your worth. You are building something to express it, and that expression, quiet, sincere, resilient, is powerful. This is the strength that lasts. And then there is this moment. Not loud, not dramatic, just clear. A moment where you realize that nothing did not defeat you. It shaped you. It taught you how to stand without certainty, how to breathe through fear, how to trust yourself when there was no evidence yet. You are no longer chasing something to become whole. You already are. From nothing to something was never about proving your worth to the world. It was about remembering it for yourself. You understand now that beginnings do not need permission, that dreams do not require validation, that resilience is not about how much you can endure, but about how gently you can carry what you've been given. You have learned to walk forward without bitterness, without blame, without resentment. That is strength most people never reach. The American mindset lives here. In belief without guarantees, in effort without applause, in hope that does not depend on outcomes. It is the quiet decision to keep showing up even when the path is unclear, trusting that clarity comes to those who continue. You no longer fear starting again because you know how to begin. You no longer fear losing because you know how to rebuild. You no longer fear uncertainty because you have lived inside it and survived. Survival taught you presence. Presence taught you awareness. Awareness taught you wisdom, and wisdom changes how you live. You move slower now, but stronger. You speak less, but with intention. You listen more, not just to others, but to yourself. You honor your limits without shame. You push your potential without cruelty. You understand that balance is not weakness. It is sustainability. You are not in a hurry anymore. You know that real success is patient, that fulfillment grows over time, that meaningful lives are built, not rushed. You choose depth over speed, alignment over attention, truth over performance, and in doing so, you become something rare, someone who is grounded, someone who is resilient, someone who is awake. You no longer see others as competition. You see them as companions on different paths. Comparison has lost its grip. Envy has no place where gratitude lives. You celebrate others without feeling diminished, because your worth is no longer dependent on position. You are rooted in your values, rooted in your journey, rooted in the knowledge that you did not quit. From nothing to something has given you perspective. You understand how fragile life is, and how powerful it can be when lived intentionally. You treat moments with care, you treat people with compassion, you treat yourself with respect. Respect is the final transformation. Respect for your effort, respect for your healing, respect for your becoming. You no longer need to announce your arrival. Your presence speaks, your consistency speaks, your calm speaks. You do not chase recognition. You create impact quietly, steadily, authentically. And if the world never applauds, you still continue, because your purpose was never dependent on noise. You have learned that hope is not naive, it is disciplined, that belief is not blind, it is practiced, that faith is not fragile, it is built through repetition. Every day you chose to try again. Every day you chose growth over comfort. Every day you chose kindness over bitterness. Those choices built something unshakable. So when challenges return, and they will, you meet them with grace. You do not collapse, you do not retreat, you adjust. You learn, you continue, because continuing is who you are now. From nothing you built awareness. From awareness you built strength. From strength you built purpose. From purpose you built peace. And peace is not the absence of struggle. It is the confidence that you can handle whatever comes next. This is the American mindset. Not entitlement, but effort. Not perfection, but perseverance. Not comfort, but courage. And this is your story. You did not rise by accident. You did not survive by luck. You did not become by chance. You chose this again and again. Quietly, bravely, from nothing to something. From doubt to belief. From fear to faith. And you are still becoming, always.